Hi everyone, Sean Waldman with Secure Cyber Defense, and this is your weekly cybersecurity update. Well, just an update on the national 911 outage that we did a video on that occurred back in mid-April. We do know the location of the break now. The break occurred in Kansas City, Missouri, and was the result of a third party that was installing a light pole, which was completely unrelated to the Lumen circuit. We're also learning and have found out that Lumen was and is still under investigation to a much larger 911 outage that occurred back in 2023. So we're looking forward in the future to bringing a resource onto the show that has a background in telecommunications and 911, and we're going to bring him on to specifically speak about fiber optic circuits and a lot of the redundancy questions that you guys had to learn and dig into a little bit more how 911 works, and then really in the future learning a little bit more how the next generation 911 system is going to work. And in other cybersecurity news, CISA has warned that there's additional threats that are coming from pro-Russian hacktivists attacking water and wastewater systems. The advisory says that pro-Russian hacktivists have been targeting U.S. infrastructure since about 2022, mainly to create nuisance effects. These are unsophisticated techniques that manipulate ICS equipment, industrial control system equipment, And the cyber army of Russia is behind the attack at the Indiana wastewater plant that we reported on last week. And in Muleshoe, Texas, which is an event that I didn't report on, but Muleshoe, Texas involved a water tower that was overflowing, and a citizen driving by noticed something was wrong. And when they investigated the attack or investigated that incident, they had noticed that they had been attacked by the pro-Russian hacktivists. So we looked into this a little bit more, and further investigation on this topic has shown that attempts were also made, speaking of the Muleshoe, Texas piece, additional attacks were made, or there were additional attempts on systems in the city of Abernathy, Texas, and Hale Center in Texas as well. And from what we've been able to find out, that many of these attacks were linked to one particular external facing application, which we weren't able to determine. But it was also interesting that the article that I was reading said that these were random attacks. I don't know how random this can be when you're attacking many critical infrastructure systems in an area in one state. So the article didn't give us any indication as to what exactly this software system was. I'm assuming it was something like VNC or TeamViewer. Maybe they were sharing the same IT company that was handling them. I'm not really sure. But I'm not sure I'm buying the randomness piece. Also, it was interesting that the city of Lockney, Texas, experienced a water main break as well on the exact same day. They weren't able to determine if that was linked. It just said that city took action all by themselves separately. But it was nice that all those cities got together at one point after the attack to kind of understand, hey, what's everybody doing? What do all these attacks mean? I'm sure FBI and other resources were involved as well, but just having all those communities come together and communicate was a big plus. Going back to the alert, the Cyber Army claims to be a hacktivist group, but intel is showing that they're connected to SAMWORM, which is a tracked APT or Advanced Persistent Threat Actor tied to Russia's main intelligence directorate, or the GRU. The advisory goes on to just indicate that if you're using something like TeamViewer or AnyDesk or some type of external access, that you either terminate that, harden it, change the password, use multi-factor. We understand that some of these control systems have to be exposed, but those types of precautions need to take place, and I'm really advising that all water, wastewater, really any critical infrastructure entity that's got external exposure to go and address those systems and harden those as soon as you can. And the last article we have for today, Change Healthcare's CEO was doing some testimonies on Capitol Hill, and they advised that their Citrix portal was accessed through stolen credentials with no multi-factor authentication enabled. So they moved laterally once they got in. They stole data for about 9 days and then encrypted the system after leaving. The CEO said it was his decision to pay the $22 million ransom. That $22 million ransom, by the way, wasn't confirmed, but that's everything that's been reported has said that it was $22 million. He said that was his decision, and he wouldn't wish that on anyone in the future. The team replaced thousands of laptops, rotated credentials, rebuilt Change Healthcare's data center network, core services, and added new server capacity. Any of you know that is a huge feat that they were able to do in about 3 to 4 weeks time frame. Normally that would have extended over 6 months or a year or more, and able to do that type of update. So there's a podcast coming soon. We're taking the comments from the YouTube channel, and many of those I've been trying to personally address. I really appreciate all the comments. There's been hundreds of comments, and really good ones too, with people having questions, and I see other subscribers going in and making comments and helping with answering them. But I really appreciate that. We're getting a lot of content ideas just from your questions. So please keep the questions coming. I'm going to take and grab Secure Cyber Defense's own CISO, our own Chief Information Security Officer, Chad Robinson. And next week, we're going to record an episode where we're going to start taking some of those comments and addressing your concerns and hopefully getting your questions answered. So I really look forward to that. We're going to try and really start posting at least a couple times a week because we're seeing the need for that going forward. Well, that's all we have for today. I really appreciate your time. Thanks for the viewer that got my reference. And hey, let's be careful out there.